Hey everybody out there interested in revealing truth and exposing errors in the time we live in. We know that over the past decade, the ecumenical movement has been progressing at an exponential rate, and it would appear that Francis Chan is helping out more and more with this movement, so that's what we'll cover today. Pulpit and Pen just did an article that I'm going to read here because it's short and to the point. But first, if you don't know what the ecumenical movement is, it's based on the principle or aim of promoting unity among the world's religions. While unity is good in many senses, it does not include the unity of saying that all religions worship the same God. In my video, The Coming One World Religion, I go into much more detail, and even with my video, Ecumenical Warning, Passion 2020, I got many negative comments from people that are deceived and think it's okay to attend Christian events that have speakers that support this movement. They say, we don't listen to the speakers, we're just there to worship Jesus. And while that sounds good, let me ask you this. Would you go to a Mormon church and say, I'm just there to worship, but don't listen to the speakers? No, of course not. And it's no different with an event like the Send or Passion with false teachers speaking. With that being said, Pulpit and Pen starts off by asking the question, is Francis Chan becoming Roman Catholic? His recently espoused views on transubstantiation certainly has Roman Catholics excited. It goes on to say, as Reformation Charlotte reported, it appears that Chan is now embracing Roman Catholic doctrine on a deeper level than most previously would have expected. Chan, who has once referred to himself as a Calvinist, several years ago rebuked an apologist who spoke at his church against the errors of Roman Catholicism. Now, Chan appears to be embracing one of the most horrific and idolatrous doctrines of the Roman Catholic Mass, transubstantiation. It continues saying, a Catholic priest is giddy with excitement over Chan's apparent move, and I'm going to include the video in this just a moment. Again, as Reformation Charlotte reports, in the video you can hear Chan beginning to embrace this and acting as though this is a historical and biblical practice of the church. In the video, he blames the error of viewing communion as symbolic on the Protestant Reformation, stating that it wasn't until 500 years ago that someone popularized the thought that it's, meaning communion, just a symbol and nothing more. So as the days get darker, more are being deceived, and we must be on alert to warn others out there what's going on. But without further ado, here's the video.
Okay, guys, I'm excited. I can't handle it. I'm pumped. I'm so excited. I'm getting parched. I need some water. Hold on. Guys, I am pumped. If you don't know who Francis Chan is, let me give you the quickest rundown ever. He's an evangelical preacher who's filled with the Spirit. I love his sermons. They're so good. And right now, legitimately, I'm convinced he's having a conversion to the Catholic Church, to the true faith, the fullness of the faith in the Catholic Church. And so, buckle up. I need you to watch this video right now.
Taking of the body and blood of Christ somehow in some real way. Again, I'm not making any like grand statements. I'm just saying some of the stuff I didn't know. I didn't know that for the first 1,500 years of church history, everyone saw it as the literal body and blood of Christ. And it wasn't until 500 years ago that someone popularized a thought that it's just a symbol.
Pause it.
And nothing more.
Guys, already Francis Chan, awesome evangelical preacher, is discovering now that for the first 1,500 years of Christianity, every single Christian believed that what happened at communion was that bread and wine actually became God, his body, blood, soul, and divinity, not a symbol.
I didn't know that. I thought, wow,
a lot of people
something to consider. While I won't make a strong statement, I will make a statement about this. It was at that same time that for the first time, someone put a pulpit in the front of the gathering.
Go for it, Francis.
Because before that, it was always the body and blood of Christ.
See the conversion in his
that was central
eyes.
to their gatherings. For 1,500 years, it was never one guy and his pulpit being the center of the church. It was the body and blood of Christ.
Preach.
And even the leaders just saw themselves as partakers. And oh man, we're not worthy, we're not worthy, we're not worthy. I say that because the church is more divided than any time in history.
Yeah.
What does this book tell us clearly? That he does not want any divisions in his church.
He came to set up one church.
And for 1,000 years,
listen,
there was just one church. Did you know that?
Just one.
We're so used to growing up in a time when literally there are over 30,000 Christian denominations right now.
Pause. Right there. Hashtag fact. For the first 1,000 years of Christianity, one church. The Holy Catholic Church. And now, 30,000 different Christian expressions of faith.
But for the first 1,000 years, there was just one.
Just one.
What was interesting is communion was at the center of the room every time they gathered. And it wasn't a pulpit where a guy preached.
No.
After studying in his office by himself for 20 hours. See, right now, we've got guys like me that go in a room, study. You know, that's what I was doing for years.
He was good.
Meanwhile, other guys went in their rooms and studied, and then we started all giving different messages.
Yeah.
So many contradicting each other.
Yeah.
And pretty soon it's, well, I follow Piper, I follow Chan, I follow, you know, it's just like everyone's following different guys.
Yeah, follow Jesus.
I'm just saying, I believe there was something about taking communion out of the center of the church.
Go for it,
And
Francis.
replace it with a gifted speaker. Not that that gifted speaker is not a part of the body of Christ.
Exactly.
And a gift to the body of Christ. But the body itself needs to be back in the center of the church. You guys, I've been dreaming about this. I've been praying about this, going, man, I would love it if one day in our country here in the U.S., people understood the body of Christ, that they were just a part of it, and they got excited to gather and partake of the body and blood of Christ. And they celebrated together, and that's why we gathered.
Oh, that was fire, straight fire. I need to cool down. Okay, did you hear the end of what Francis just said? I've been dreaming of this. We're all dreaming to be so united to Jesus Christ that his blood becomes one with ours, our body with his, our souls intermingled, and his divinity entering our very presence. And that's Holy Communion. Here's real flesh and blood. And that's what is going on in this preaching. I listened to the entire 48 minutes of this gospel message that Francis preached, and I'm going to leave it right here. Take a listen. He talks about the fact that worship is this mystical heavenly thing happening that we become part of, and we're one brick in this mystical body, and Paul is there, and he says the Virgin Mary is there, all this Catholic language. And so this evangelical preacher is having a conversion right now, I'm convinced, to the Catholic Church. And so everybody pray now that he has this full conversion, because this is a beautiful, epic moment for the church and for the truth of Jesus Christ, the fullness of his truth. And Francis, if you're listening right now, man, give me a call. I want to talk about this, because this is where my heart lives. My heart lives in the mystical body of Jesus Christ, and recognizing that the church says that the source and summit of our faith must be the Eucharist. And this is what we're all dying for. And this is what the church has been dying for. This was a martyrs died for 2,000 years. The belief that in this host is not bread and wine, but the true presence of Jesus Christ. So Francis, I'm praying for you. Everyone watching is praying for you. And man, give me a call, because we want you in the fullness of this church. Come home.
Okay, please.
Okay, it's still Christmas time until the baptism of the Lord, so little Christmas cake. Oh. That's good. I gotta stop. It's a new year. You gotta keep that New Year's resolution going. Back in the gym. Planet Fitness, man. Judgment-free zone. God is good. Francis, come home, man.
So that's it for today, and as always, please leave your comments below and keep Francis Chan in your prayers. But until next time, take care and God bless.